Greetings to everyone from around the world. Hope everyone so far is enjoying their summer, right? So I'm here today to talk about the basics of Bluetooth connectivity. And it is very important to understand the basics so we can face our customers with confidence. This will be the first part of the webinar series that is focused on improving your connectivity knowledge, and the second part would be next Tuesday. So that will be on August 27, where we share tips and tricks on how to troubleshoot common connectivity problems faced by your client. I'm Mary LC, International Trainer for Bernafon, and I'm very excited to share with you all this great knowledge on connectivity. With me in the background is Christina, who can help me answer some questions. So both of us will do that, that you might have for today's session. Now, let's talk about the topics for today. First, I'm going to discuss what exactly is Bluetooth. Second, why are there so many different Bluetooth protocols? Third, what is the user experience for those different Bluetooth protocols and how are they relevant for you as the HCP? It will then be followed by a question and answer portion and also a very short 5-question quiz at the end. So without further ado, let's start. The presentation will take around 50 to 55 minutes, and after that, you can enjoy the great summer weather outside. So let's move. Why is it important to understand connectivity technology? And I know that connectivity is not our favorite topic, at least it's not my favorite topic, because I know how it can get with all of these different devices. And sometimes instead of doing our jobs in the clinic, we actually have to deal and use up our time trying to troubleshoot these smartphone compatibility issues, disconnection, pairing, and so forth. But the fact is, we are surrounded by technology, and so are our clients. And connectivity is here to stay whether we want to or not. So we really have to adapt to the times. And that means equipping ourselves with the necessary knowledge. So today there are more than 6 billion, let me just quickly touch that. Yeah. There are more than 6 billion smartphone users worldwide, meaning that more than 85% of the world's population now owns a smartphone. In fact, the recent Mark Track 11 survey, and that is a survey, a study conducted in the US from 2022 showed that 91% of people with hearing difficulty also owned a smartphone. And when hearing aid users think about what matters most, not only do they say that the device should have a volume control or rechargeability, but also the ability to stream sound from their smartphone and having an app for the smartphone. So having a good understanding of how connectivity devices work, specifically the underlying technology behind that, plays a really important role in supporting your client in their hearing care journey. So let's start by looking at what Bluetooth is, as well as the evolution of this technology since it was released in 1998. So Bluetooth is basically a wireless technology standard used to exchange data between the fixed and mobile device over a short distance. It uses short wavelength, ultra-high frequency radio waves within the radio band of 2.400 until 2.485 gigahertz. And that is why you will often see 2.4 gigahertz wireless technology as in some materials. It was originally developed as a wireless alternative to serial port data cables. And of course, in the world that we have today, most of our devices now are wireless. So in that sense, Bluetooth is more or less the same thing when we say wireless communication. Yet now there are many different Bluetooth protocols available, and it has somewhat made it really difficult for consumers and hearing aid users to understand in terms of device compatibility. While Bluetooth wireless technology is already a part of our daily life, it has actually gone through many revisions and iterations since it came out onto the stage in 1998. Since then, Bluetooth has really evolved significantly in the past 20 plus years. And there are 4 things that helps you distinguish between one version to the next. So the 4 things includes the range of this Bluetooth version, how fast they transfer data, how much power they consume, and also with the compatibility in terms of different devices. So Bluetooth has been around since 1998, and this was when the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, what we call SIG, was formed, and the Bluetooth name was adopted. And then the following year, in 1999, the Bluetooth version 1.0 was released. And in 2000, the first Bluetooth mobile phone also hit the market. So Bluetooth version 1.0 was much slower than what we know today, and it actually only reached a range of as far as 10 meters. Now, by 2004, consumers could purchase Bluetooth-enabled stereo headphones. And this was also the year they increased the data transfer speed from 1 to 3 megabits per second. So this improvement in speed allowed better data transfer, which was a very important first step in preserving battery life. And then in 2009, the Bluetooth version 3.0 was released, which made Bluetooth faster with a high speed of 24 megabits per second. So Bluetooth 3.0 was the first version to use the 802.11 radio protocol, which is actually the same one used by Wi-Fi. This allows much larger files to be transferred and at the same time reduce the battery drain since this protocol stayed inactive until data transfer was actually needed. So what I have discussed so far from Bluetooth 1.0 until 3.0 is what we now refer to as Bluetooth Classic. And of course, after Bluetooth Classic in 2010, this was a real game changer because we now release Bluetooth version 4.0, which included a new category of Bluetooth called Bluetooth Low Energy. So in addition to the Bluetooth Classic protocol, which is still there, they added this new Bluetooth Low Energy protocol in version 4.0. And this new version was created due to this increased demand for connectivity with smaller devices. So it was geared towards applications that actually required lower power consumption because we cannot be recharging our small devices every time. Whereas the previous versions of Bluetooth used to maintain this constant connection and constant data stream, this caused a large drain on battery power. And with this new 4.0 version, we now had the option to only transmit the data when it's needed. And when there was no new data to transmit, the connection then goes to sleep to reduce battery power consumption. In 2013, Bluetooth version 4.1 was released, and that was designed for the Internet of Things. For those who are not familiar with this technology, it is the technology that allows web-connected devices such as smart fridges, smart toothbrush, smart TV, smart lighting to connect to our hearing aids. And this version offered, again, improved power management and data transfer. In 2014, the first smartphone with Bluetooth Low Energy audio streaming, which was the Apple iPhone 5 at that time, was then released in the market. And that's the Bluetooth protocol we call Apple Direct Streaming. And in 2016, Bluetooth version 5.0 was released with improvements to the data range and also the speed of transfer. And this allowed devices with this Bluetooth version 5.0 to send even more sophisticated data to users. In 2018, Bluetooth celebrated 20 years of innovation, introducing us to the world without wires. And in 2019, this was where a new Bluetooth protocol called Audio Streaming for Hearing Aids, or ASHA, was released. And this protocol was co-developed with Google to allow direct streaming of audio, including music and phone calls from Android devices directly to our hearing aids, which supported the ASHA protocol. Another milestone, which is why you see the text in red, was in 2020, where the Bluetooth version 5.2 ushered in this new generation of Bluetooth audio. Because compared to the existing Bluetooth audio, which still runs on Bluetooth Classic, the new Bluetooth LE audio makes lower battery consumption possible and also creates a more standardized way of transmitting audio over Bluetooth Low Energy, including audio sharing and also support for hearing aids. In 2021, Apple announced the addition of support for hands-free phone calls and video calls with MFI-compatible hearing aids, and that's what we call Apple bidirectional streaming. And later that year, the newest Bluetooth version 5.3 was released, offering improved reliability, power efficiency, and better user experience overall. And in 2022, the Bluetooth SIG group announced the completion of the LE audio. And as part of this, a new Bluetooth capability was released, and that is Auracast Broadcast audio. So Auracast allowed an infinite number of listeners to receive a broadcast audio signal directly to their devices, and this enabled them to share a common listening experience. Using this technology, audio can be streamed to hearing aids from private devices at home or public venues such as movie theaters, transportation centers, and shopping malls. So in a sense, I would say it is here to replace the previous older technology that you probably know, which was telecoil. What does the future of Bluetooth hold? So according to Bluetooth SIG, the future will bring improved LE audio performance, and this will enable smaller and less intrusive hearing devices to be designed. So it's looking bright. Now you may wonder, why are there so many Bluetooth protocols? Why is there no universal protocol to connect everything? Let's now take a look at the different Bluetooth protocols out there, how they differ from one another, and what advantage and disadvantage they offer. There are two Bluetooth protocols we will investigate. First, we have Bluetooth Classic. That's the first Bluetooth protocol released in 1998. And we have the Bluetooth Low Energy, which was roughly released 10 years later. Bluetooth Classic is used in many traditional wireless devices that stream rich content like video and audio, as you can see on your left. And Bluetooth Low Energy has primarily been used for devices that sends smaller bits of data, such as temperature sensors and fitness trackers. And now with LE Audio, which came out in 2020, we are able to also support streaming audio, which was only previously supported by Bluetooth Classic. Bluetooth wireless technology devices are often referred to as a single mode device or dual mode. So a single mode device includes either Bluetooth Classic or Bluetooth Low Energy, but it cannot be both, or it cannot support both. A dual mode device, in comparison, includes both Bluetooth Classic and Bluetooth Low Energy. So in a way, it's like being able to speak two different languages. This means that it can connect to both Bluetooth Classic devices and also Bluetooth Low Energy devices. For example, because a smartphone is a dual mode device, it can actually connect to both the headphone on the left that you see there, and also a fitness tracker that you see on the right. So there's a picture there. So that's a dual mode device. And one of the confusions around Bluetooth technology are the names and what they actually mean. Because unfortunately, all these different naming and abbreviations, some official, some not, have been used over the years. So let's try to clear that up. There are two types of Bluetooth technology that we are interested in when we're talking about hearing aids. So the first one is Bluetooth Classic that you see there on the red text, and that's sometimes referred to as standard Bluetooth. You have the second one below, which is Bluetooth Low Energy, and sometimes we used to call that as Bluetooth Smart, Bluetooth Light, and also when you see the abbreviation BLE, we are referring to this Bluetooth Low Energy. So both Bluetooth Classic and Bluetooth Low Energy are under the same classification, but they actually operate differently and they don't mix. So Bluetooth Classic devices cannot communicate with Bluetooth Low Energy devices and vice versa. So to continue this analogy I started earlier, you can think of it in terms of language. Just like two people, they need to speak the same language to be able to communicate and be understood by each other. So in that sense, Bluetooth devices need to have the same protocol to be able to talk to each other. And this explains why Bluetooth devices will not always connect with another device claiming to have Bluetooth compatibility, because there are different types of Bluetooth protocols. Two of them you see here. So Bluetooth Low Energy was introduced to enable lower power consumption, and this lower power consumption is made possible by a few things. First is because it's able to sleep between transmissions. When it's not transmitting data, it goes to sleep. It has a fast connection time compared with Bluetooth Classic, so it can connect quickly, send its data, and then go back to sleep. And it transmits smaller packets of data, which gets transmitted faster because it's smaller, again, enabling it to go to sleep mode faster. To make things even more complicated, Bluetooth Low Energy was not just one protocol because unlike Bluetooth Classic, it cannot be modified. So Bluetooth Classic is a closed protocol, whereas Bluetooth Low Energy is an open protocol. So this means that manufacturers of Bluetooth wireless devices have the option to make modifications or changes to the Bluetooth Low Energy protocol to make it suit their own devices. So, for example, Apple has its own modified versions of Bluetooth Low Energy, which we call Apple Direct Streaming and Apple Bidirectional Streaming. So in total, there are 6 different BLE or Bluetooth Low Energy protocols used across Bernafon hearing aids and connectivity accessories, all with their own specific function. We have the original Bluetooth Low Energy protocol, which can only transmit data, no audio. And the next 5 protocols I will talk about will include audio streaming because we're talking about hearing aids. The second one is the Bluetooth LE audio protocol, which was specifically designed for audio in addition to enabling Auracast. Next, we have the Bernafon Bluetooth Low Energy protocol, which was modified by Bernafon specifically for Bernafon devices. We also have the Apple version of Bluetooth Low Energy, referred to as Apple Direct Streaming and Apple Bidirectional Streaming. And finally, the last Bluetooth Low Energy protocol that is relevant for hearing aids is audio streaming for hearing aids, or ASHA, which was co-developed with Google specifically for Android devices. Now, I want you to listen because this is really important. Bernafon hearing aids support 6 different Bluetooth protocols, each with their own specific function. The first Bluetooth protocol is the Bluetooth Low Energy protocol. So Bernafon uses this core Bluetooth Low Energy protocol for sending data between Bernafon hearing aids and remote control, Bernafon app, and also the NOAA Link wireless. Bernafon Bluetooth Low Energy. So this is the protocol used by Bernafon devices such as SoundClip A and TVA, and they use this protocol for audio transmission between these 2 devices. It is very important to note that the SoundClip A also includes the Bluetooth Classic protocol. So if you remember earlier what I talked about, it's a dual mode device. And this makes SoundClip A able to connect the devices without a Bluetooth Low Energy protocol. So it's like a translator of languages. It's able to translate between 2 different languages. And it can also be used as an intermediary device enabling 2-way audio streaming with, for example, an Android device. The Apple Direct Streaming protocol allows direct audio streaming, as it's named, from Apple products to all Bernafon hearing aids. The Apple Bidirectional Streaming protocol allows hands-free communication. And I'm happy to tell you that last year, Apple extended the 1-way and 2-way direct streaming to a Mac computer. So Alpha XT, and Encarta are compatible with this technology. We also have the Android Bluetooth ASHA, which supports direct 1-way streaming from Android devices on the Android 10 operating system to an Alpha XT, or Encarta device. And finally, we have the Bluetooth LE audio, which allows hands-free or 2-way streaming connection to Android devices. So together, these different Bluetooth low energy protocols, along with Bluetooth Classic with the sound clip A, allows users to have access to high quality sound from a variety of devices. Now let's talk about the user experience with these different Bluetooth technology, starting with Bluetooth Classic. The Bluetooth Classic protocol was first released in 1998 or 1999 and was mainly used to enable wireless audio streaming. It has become the standard protocol behind wireless speakers, headphones, and also in-car entertainment systems. The Bluetooth Classic radio or audio also enables data transfer applications, including mobile printing. So it's audio and also data. And we have one hearing aid manufacturer which has chosen to use the Bluetooth Classic protocol for hands-free calling with phones. The advantage to this protocol is that it works with most phones as long as they have a Bluetooth 4.2 or higher. But the drawback is that it uses much more power than Bluetooth low energy protocols. So in this example with Bluetooth Classic, the phone is paired to only one hearing aid via Bluetooth Classic, and then this audio is then shared with the other hearing aid using near-field magnetic induction or NFMI. So during a hands-free phone call, the paired hearing aid picks up the user's voice and it sends it to the phone via the Bluetooth Classic connection. Now let's talk about the limitations of Bluetooth Classic. There is no native control available with a Bluetooth Classic connection. So if the client wants a remote, they have to download the hearing aid manufacturer's app in order to do anything with the hearing aid. The app must be paired to the hearing aids using Bluetooth low energy technology. So there are two connections here. The hearing aids to the app with BLE and the hearing aids to the phone with Bluetooth Classic. That is why you will see 3 hearing aids connected on the Bluetooth menu of the phone, which might be really confusing for the client. The app also has a longer connection time, around 30 seconds to 1 minute, as the Bluetooth low energy connection must be established every time the user opens the app. So that is one drawback when it comes to using Bluetooth Classic as the main Bluetooth connection. If the paired hearing aid isn't working, the client has no connection for hands-free calling. So the hearing care professional can change which hearing aid is set to pair to the phone. However, that can only be done in the fitting software. So the user cannot do it themselves and they have to go to the clinic. Now let's look at MFI, which is made for iPhone, and how they experience connectivity-wise. First, what is MFI or made for iPhone? So MFI stands for made for iPhone, iPad, or iPod. It's a certification program created by Apple for developers or third-party accessories for iOS devices. That means that an electronic accessory has been designed to connect specifically to Apple products and has been certified by the developer to meet the Apple performance standards. Companies joining the MFI program and passing certification tests are then able to use this logo. The one that you see on the left, that is usually what you would see on the product packaging. And that's a good sign that that thing or accessory will work very well with Apple products. Apple currently uses two different BLE protocols to support one-way and two-way streaming. Let's talk about the first one, which is one-way streaming or direct streaming. So the Apple Direct Streaming Protocol means that compatible Bernafon hearing aids double as wireless headphones. It is not a separate app on the iPhone, but rather a part of the settings in the Apple operating system. All the communication is controlled by the iPhone. So this one-way streaming allows your hearing aids to act as headphones, but when it comes to making phone calls, the user's voice still needs to be picked up by the iPhone microphone. So that is Apple Direct Streaming. The Apple Bidirectional Streaming Protocol supports two-way audio streaming as long as the client has an iPhone 11 or later running at an iOS 15.2 or later. At Bernafon, we call this feature hands-free communication. And this gives the client the ability to make hands-free phone calls without needing an extra intermediary device like a SoundClip A. So the user's voice is picked up by the built-in hearing aid microphone and sent to the phone wirelessly and onto their conversation partner. And then the voice of their conversation partner is then streamed back wirelessly to the hearing aids. So that's how it works. And the good thing with MFI is that the user experience is really very seamless. So the user may initially be confused as to where to pair the hearing aids since they are not paired in the Bluetooth menu of the phone, but is paired in the accessibilities menu. So here you can go to settings, accessibility, and then hearing devices. The iPhone has native control. What does that mean? That means that hearing aids can be controlled directly from the iPhone accessibility menu, and that you don't need the Bernafon app in order to control the hearing aids. So in this example, you can adjust the volume without the Bernafon app, and this can really be an advantage for certain users who are not very familiar with apps, or they don't know their Apple ID, or they don't know the password, they have to reset, etc. So this is an alternative option for those with difficulties. In addition to the native remote control, the iPhone also has Live Listen and background sounds. So Live Listen turns the iPhone basically into a remote microphone. So you give your iPhone, the user or the client gives their iPhone to the person they want to hear, let's say in a restaurant, and it can work basically as a SoundClip A. Background sounds activate a sound that can be used for relaxation, and the user can choose between 6 different types of sounds. That's all from Apple. If you are having issues using the Bernafon app, you can use the native control, which can be accessed in the control center or through the accessibility shortcut by triple-clicking the button, home button. So that is easily available. Apple takes ownership of the hearing aid experience when connected to an iPhone or iPad, since they are the ones who produce the hardware and the software. And this enables really better stability and performance. Apple's product support lifetime is approximately 6 to 8 years, and the rollout of software updates is regular and they occur globally at the same time. So in this sense, if there's anything wrong or any bug that needs to be fixed, it is available immediately for most of these Apple products. So we have talked about the Apple user experience. Now let's go to Android, starting with ASHA. So what is ASHA? ASHA stands for Android Streaming for Hearing Aids and is a Bluetooth Low Energy Protocol co-developed by Google in 2019, first supported by the Android 10 operating system. It allows direct one-way streaming of audio, including music and calls, between compatible Android phones and hearing aids supporting this ASHA protocol. What is very important for you to note is that there are still a limited but expanding number of smartphones currently supporting ASHA. So be aware of this before telling your client that their Android phone works perfectly with a hearing aid. You have to make sure that they actually do work, because not all Android phones have the ASHA protocol or the LE audio protocol. The minimum requirements for Android phones to support ASHA are they must have Android OS 10 or later and Bluetooth 5.0 or later. So not all phones meeting these requirements will actually support ASHA. So that's another caveat, as the protocol also needs to be enabled by the device manufacturer. So even if it's Android OS 10, and it also has Bluetooth 5.0, it doesn't mean that it's ASHA enabled. So this is something you still need to check. Bernafon hearing aids with Bluetooth low energy technology that support the ASHA protocol can display this badge that you see on your left, which says works with Android badge. So essentially, Android Bluetooth ASHA provides the same benefits of one-way direct streaming as the Apple direct streaming protocol. This allows compatible Bernafon hearing aids to double as wireless headphones and receive the streamed audio from Android devices. Android ASHA does not have a native control like the iPhone. So the user has to download the hearing aid manufacturer's app, in this case the Bernafon app, and the hearing aids are usually paired to the phone using the app. So in Android phone, you definitely need to have the Bernafon app. Android ASHA does not currently support bidirectional streaming, so the client will need to have the SoundClip A for hands-free calling. And unlike Apple, Google develops the Android operating system. But the problem is there are many different hardware manufacturers, and there is no single standard specifying how the Android hardware and software should interact. So for example, manufacturers like Samsung, they buy the external hardware or the Bluetooth controller and apply their own layer of user interface on top of the Android operating system. And this adds complexity and results in less stability and performance compared to Apple. And this is the same for other manufacturers such as Huawei, Xiaomi, Sony, LG, and hundreds of other Android phone manufacturers, because they are each doing their own thing. They're developing their own hardware, they're developing their own software. So if they want to check if it works with ASHA, then it depends on the company. Do they make sure that the quality meets the standard? And that's not always the case. While Apple software support lasts around a decade, manufacturers of smartphones using the Android OS typically offer support for 3 to 5 major Android releases, or approximately 3 to 5 years. That depends on the manufacturer. Premium phones get updates first, and there is then a staggered rollout via the Google Play Store, meaning that not all phones are updated at the same time. So if your client has connectivity issues, depending on the model and how old their phone is, they might actually get fix later, or maybe even not at all. Finally, ASHA has been made available without any controlling or certifying authority that could check which Android phones are tried and tested. And that is why even if different Android manufacturers launch devices with this ASHA-enabled certification, most of them did not thoroughly test the streaming capabilities and stability of their entire system, including the hardware and the software. Now, let's look at the user experience for users with hearing aids that include the Bluetooth LE audio protocol. So the Bluetooth LE audio is the newest Bluetooth audio standard designed for low power wireless devices, including hearing aids. Bluetooth LE audio enables capabilities in hearing aids, including two-way streaming, enabling hands-free communication for Android. So Bluetooth LE audio is basically the counterpart, the Android counterpart of Apple's bidirectional streaming protocol. In addition to bidirectional streaming, LE audio also allows multi-stream audio for better synchronization between the left and the right hearing aid. And just some information for you guys. The LC3 codec is a new standard codec for audio streaming and provides improved power efficiency over the standard SBC codec that we used in Bluetooth Classic. And most importantly, LE audio also enables Auracast Broadcast audio. And this allows this to be an option in the future for Bernafon hearing aids, which we will expect after a future firmware update. So in that sense, Bernafon hearing aids are LE future ready. Right now, that feature is not available, but it is designed to be ready for future activation. Bluetooth LE audio is available with LE audio enabled Android smartphones or tablets with Android OS 14 or later. And again, as I mentioned before, this allows hands-free communication. So let's talk about some information and limitation of Bluetooth LE audio for hearing aids. And the first one is that LE audio is part of the Bluetooth 5.2 standard and provides a standard protocol for transmitting audio using BLE. So this is a huge difference to ASHA, which was developed without any certifying authority. And one huge limitation is that LE audio is new. It's really new. And there are currently a limited number of compatible smartphones and tablets available. Now, I really want to be transparent here. We are currently dealing with a lot of connectivity issues, especially with Android phones, which I know is the same with other hearing aid manufacturers, but just so you guys know, so you can face your client, and you know what's happening. We are really prioritizing this issue. We have a specific team in headquarters, and all they do day in and day out is look at these connectivity issues. And hopefully at the end of the year, we will receive firmware and app updates. So it will help resolve a lot of these connectivity issues in the future. Okay, so Auracast, what is it? I bet you've heard about it at some point, saying it's a future of connectivity. And basically, Auracast is a Bluetooth connectivity platform that is part of Bluetooth LE audio using this Bluetooth 5.2 version. So whereas conventional Bluetooth pairing involves direct connections between two devices, Auracast functions similar to a radio station. It enables a broadcast of a Bluetooth signal, an audio signal, that an unlimited number of people can tune into and listen using their in-range Bluetooth audio devices, such as a headphone or an earbuds or hearing aids. So Auracast has many use cases, and that includes, first, public broadcast. Places like airports and train stations can broadcast announcements for each gate, and users can tune into their particular platform or gate. Concerts or presentations could be broadcast, and users would be able to hear directly to their Bluetooth headphones or hearing aids. That's really cool. And conferences offering simultaneous translation services would allow the hearing aid client to listen to the content in their preferred language. So in that sense, multi-language broadcasts could also be used in cinemas. That's amazing. And televisions in public spaces, so the client can choose which television in a gym to listen to, for example. And they can also listen to a television while waiting. And of course, at home, they can also use that. And sharing audio with others. So clients could share audio from their devices to others. So for example, if a client was traveling on a plane and watching a movie on their tablet, they can then share this audio with their travel partner. So these are just some of the possibilities that both hearing aid user and non-hearing aid user can benefit from in the future. So the Auracast broadcast audio requires three main things. First, you see on the left, you have the Auracast transmitter, and that's normally a Bluetooth device, such as a smartphone, tablet, a TV, or other devices that has an ability to send out broadcasts. Think of this transmitter as the radio station. And then on the right, you will see the Auracast Assistant. And this is normally a Bluetooth device, such as a smartphone or a smartwatch, that is capable of scanning and selecting a broadcast. Think of the Auracast Assistant as the stereo in your car receiving this radio station signal that you choose. Then finally, at the bottom, the Auracast receiver. So the Auracast receiver can be any Bluetooth device, such as headphones, earbuds, and of course, hearing aids, capable of receiving an Auracast broadcast. So think of the receiver as your car speakers playing the signal from the radio station. So how does the Auracast broadcast audio work? An Auracast transmitter begins a broadcast that includes advertisements which provide assistance with information about the broadcast. So it could be the name of the broadcast, what's the content, the codec, etc. And then the Auracast assistants will continually scan for advertisements or broadcasts and provides this user interface to enable clients to select the broadcast that they want to join. And this is similar to the user interface commonly used to connect to Wi-Fi in public spaces with your phone. Once a broadcast is selected, the Auracast assistant then provides the receiver, so for example, the hearing aids, with the information that it needs to join the broadcast, and then the receiver will hear the audio streamed from the transmitter. So let's include a real-world example of how Auracast works. For example, at an airport, each gate has a transmitter. the transmitter transmits a broadcast that includes advertisements. And this provides the assistant with information about the broadcast, such as the gate number. In this example, the user's departure gate is B25, but it's also close to B26 and B27. So the user's smartphone then scans for these different advertisements and selects a broadcast to join. The smartphone shows that there are broadcasts currently available for gates B25, B26, and B27. The user selects B25 announcements as their departure gate. And once gate B25's broadcast is selected, the smartphone provides the hearing aids the information it needs to join the gate B25. The user is then able to hear all announcements coming from B25 through their hearing aids. And this is really wonderful technology, but be aware that Auracast Broadcast audio is currently not widespread yet. So it's not available in a lot of public spaces. It's really new. And as with editing technology, it will probably take from around 3 to 10 years to be adopted by the average consumer. So take that into account. But the promise and possibilities is definitely a lot. Yeah, so that ends the presentation. Now I'm just going to share some connectivity resources that we have. We have a few resources to support you with your connectivity journey. And this includes a guide for hands-free communication with Bernafon hearing aids and Windows PC. And in the middle, you will see a guide for setting up and troubleshooting direct streaming on Android and PCs with LE audio. And then on the right, you will see a guide for hands-free communication and direct streaming with Mac. So, and of course, we also have the compatibility guide. So I'm really happy to share this with you guys because this is something that the Bernafon team in headquarters, they have a team whose job is just to update this website. So this compatibility guide is where you and your clients can search by phone or tablet or by hearing aid to provide, to answer these compatibility questions. This updated guide provides enhanced focus on which is compatible with one-way streaming, which is compatible with two-way streaming, and it also is continuously update with more than 3,500 phones and tablets. And you will see once you access this website that there will be a sign. It's called Tested by Bernafon. And when you see that logo, that means you can be extra confident that they have tried it out. They have tried all different strategies to test, and it works. And then you also have the YouTube channel, of course, which offers a range of videos to support both you and the users with connectivity. We are coming out with new instructional videos every day, so check it out once in a while. And yeah, those are really some websites you can go to if you need more help on the basics. Now, this is where you can try and see how much you have learned. We have 5 questions, so you can easily finish this in, I think, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And if you want the certificate, make sure to scan that QR code, answer these 5 questions, get at least half of them correct, and send this your complete name to this email, bernexportnews@demand.com, after you finished the quiz. Then I can ask headquarters to help me make the certificates for you. All right? So I'll leave this here. And yeah, for those who are curious, yeah, we're really looking forward to what lays ahead. And yeah, I think that's all. Christina?
Yep, nothing. Just I would like to tell you it's wonderful to have such a big number of participants. So it seems that this topic is interesting. So Thank you all for joining, and yeah, see you again hopefully in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks, Christina.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
everyone.
everybody. Bye bye.
Wish you a good day. You can now enjoy your
Have a
summer.
wonderful day. Bye bye.